Hey everyone, welcome back. I've seen a lot of you ask me to make a video about Clash Lane. Not just about the heroes, but how to actually lane in Clash Lane. And I get it, because Clash Lane is seriously one of the hardest roles in the game. It's surrounded with neutral resources, so it becomes a constant hotspot for enemy ganks. And no matter how good you are, if you make a single mistake, yes, even in the draft phase, can cost your entire team the game. Clash Lane is unpredictable. Sometimes you dominate, sometimes you get completely destroyed. And then there are those games where the enemy jungler and mid just camp you non-stop while your own team pretends you don't exist. You start doubting your game sense, your playstyle, everything. But don't worry, if you're tired of losing lane, getting ganked on repeat, or feeling like a feeding machine, I've got you. In this video, I'm going to break down how to win Clash Lane consistently, how to make the right decisions, how to punish your opponents, how to stay useful, and most importantly, how you can do Clash Laning, even when it feels like the world's against you. So make sure you watch this closely, pay attention to everything I say, and without wasting any more time, let's roll the intro. First of all, if you didn't already know, every match in Honor of Kings is divided into 4 phases: early game, mid game, late game, and ultra late game. Each phase corresponds to a specific time period. The early game lasts until the 4-minute mark. The mid game spans from 4 to 10 minutes. The late game covers 10 to 20 minutes, and anything after 20 minutes is considered the ultra late game. What's important here is that your playstyle should change based on the phase you're in. You'll make different decisions, take different risks, and play your hero differently as the game progresses. And for this video, I'm going to focus exclusively on the early game, meaning everything that happens before 4 minutes. If you want me to cover the other phases in this series, then make sure to like this video and show your support. I'll continue this based on how this one performs. So let's get into the early game. One thing most players overlook is that macro doesn't begin when you step onto the battlefield. It actually starts in the lobby or loading screen. That's where you should begin analyzing both team compositions, like checking both the enemy and your teammates' spells. Even something as simple as spotting a specific spell can help you anticipate what might happen in lane. I'll break that down more in a moment. At the start of the match, specifically during the first 10 seconds after you enter the battlefield, the very first thing you need to do as a Clash Laner is determine your course of action. To explain what I mean, let's break it down into 2 common scenarios. First, in Honor of Kings, some junglers are powerful right from level 1 and have the ability to invade the enemy jungle successfully. For example, if I'm playing Jing, I often look for an early invade opportunity and may even end up invading the enemy jungle on the Clash Lane side. So what should you do as the Clash Laner when your jungler is invading near your lane at the start of the game? The ideal move is to push the first minion wave quickly and then immediately rotate toward your jungler. Your goal is to protect your jungler's retreat after the invade. If the enemy spots them during the steal, things can get dangerous very fast. Your presence helps ensure both the buff steal and your jungler's escape go smoothly. Second, now imagine the opposite. Let's say the enemy jungler is strong early, like Pei, and your own jungler is vulnerable. On top of that, your roamer is babysitting the marksman instead of helping at the jungle. In this situation, you need to step up as the Clash Laner. Here's what you should do. Go to the river bush and provide vision. Even if that means you may lose a minion or 2, it's worth it. By staying in that bush, you give vision of anyone trying to invade your jungler's buff. Your goal isn't to fight, it's to help your jungler defend the area and clear the jungle safely. Aside from the offensive and defensive scenarios I have discussed just now for the start of the match, there's one more thing you must pay close attention to when you're playing in the Clash Lane at level 1. First, the position of the enemy support or roamer. This is extremely important because it helps you avoid dying early and prevents the enemy from securing first blood. Let me explain. For example, if the enemy team has roamers like Guiguzi or Guan Yu, they often accompany their Clash Laner right at the start of the game. They take advantage of the assumption that you'll only be facing one enemy and that you know how to handle the matchup, but suddenly the roamer shows up, pulls or pushes you out of position, and together with their Clash Laner they take you down and secure first blood. This not only puts you behind, but also gives the enemy team an early gold lead. That's why you must always check the minimap to know where the enemy roamer is before committing to anything risky. At the same time, you should also be aware of the spells the enemy players have brought. For example, if the enemy mid laner is Kongming with a teleportation spell, yes, teleport Kongming is viable, then you shouldn't rush into trading blows early in your lane. Why? Because Kongming can easily gank you from across the map using his spell. This can happen in one of 2 ways. First, he might skip going mid and instead immediately walk to the Clash Lane for a surprise attack, then teleport back to mid to catch his wave. This gives him a ton of gold and puts you at a disadvantage right from the start. Second, he may clear his mid wave first, then use teleportation to join the fight in your lane, creating a surprise 2v1 and resulting in your death. This is exactly why I emphasized analyzing the loading screen earlier. If you noticed Kongming had teleportation spell, you'd already be prepared to play safer, avoid early trades, and try to counter this surprise gank. A bit of awareness early on goes a long way in preventing disaster during the laning phase. When you reach the 1 minute mark of the match, the Clash Lane minion waves meet again, and that's when this cute little creature called the Spirit Chest spawns. At this moment, as a Clash Laner, you need to pay close attention to whether the opposing mid laner is pushing their minion wave quickly or not. As I mentioned earlier, the Clash Lane usually has the most neutral resources in the game, which attracts many hunters. A lot of mid laners like to rotate to the Clash Lane for a level 2 gank right after clearing their first wave. Their goal is to help their Clash Laner secure the Spirit Chest, while also setting up a potential kill on you. So when you're laning in the Clash Lane, you must stay alert and avoid getting ganked early on. You need to stay aware of movements on the map and always be prepared for potential ganks so you don't end up giving away an early kill for free. However, let me be honest, I've noticed something strange in the global server. Most mid laners almost always prioritize ganking the farm lane over the Clash Lane. They see the marksman as the ultimate threat and focus entirely on ganking and killing him. But they often forget that most farm laners are accompanied by their support, who can easily protect them from a level 2 gank and potentially even turn the fight around. I'm not saying they shouldn't gank the farm lane at all, but they need to understand the situation and make wise decisions. That's why, in most matches, you're less likely to get ganked at level 2 in the Clash Lane on the global server. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't stay attentive and active. At the 1 minute mark, aside from watching whether the enemy mid laner is pushing the wave, you should also pay attention to whether the enemy jungler is helping their mid laner to clear the minion wave. For example, if the enemy jungler is someone like Pei, they often help clear the mid wave early to maximize their economy. If you notice that the enemy jungler has helped the mid laner clear the 1 minute wave, it's likely that he'll leave the jungle at around 1 minute and 30 seconds. In this situation, you can take advantage of this slight delay in his jungle pathing. Push your wave quickly, then secure the Spirit Chest for extra gold since it's less likely you'll be confronted by both the Clash Laner and jungler at the same time. On the other hand, if the enemy jungler didn't assist the mid laner with the 1 minute wave, it's very likely that they're aiming for a fast level 4 gank on a side lane. In this case, the jungler will stay in their jungle, clearing camps as quickly as possible, and then immediately gank a side lane once they reach level 4. Keep in mind, based on the jungler's hero, you can also estimate their jungle clear timing. Fast clearing junglers like Pei can finish their jungle rotation and reach level 4 as early as 1 minute and 15 seconds, while many other junglers take 1 minute and 20 seconds or more. So you should always keep your eye on the clock and play more cautiously if you're on the side that's likely to be ganked. At around 1 minute and 30 seconds into the match, the level 4 wave meets in the Clash Lane. It's called the level 4 wave because this is generally the time when both teams' junglers have reached level 4. If both junglers from your team and the enemy team show up in the Clash Lane at this point, you'll need to anticipate the early game strength of both sides. Based on your hero's strengths and positions compared to the enemy, you can decide whether to contest the level 4 wave, or whether it's better to engage in a fight first before clearing the wave. As previously mentioned, you'll need to identify who's stronger and who's weaker in the upcoming clash. For instance, let's assume you've already figured out that your jungler paired with you is weaker than the enemy's jungler in Clash Laner combo. In this scenario, you can adopt a smart and effective strategy instead of fighting head-on. You can play passively by freezing the wave in front of your tower. Here's how this strategy works. When the second wave of Clash Lane minions meets, don't let them enter your tower range or die, and don't kill them yourself either. Just hold or freeze the lane right in front of your tower. This will create a situation where, once the third wave arrives, all the minions will naturally stack up in front of your tower. By doing this, you'll create a defensive minion block, making it much safer and easier for your team to clear the wave or pick the right moment to fight, without overextending early in the game. At around 1 minute and 50 seconds into the match, the small jungle camps such as the pigs will respawn. If you've already tracked the enemy jungler's path and know that they're clearing from the Clash Lane toward the gold lane side, you can take advantage of this information. When you're playing the Clash Lane, this presents a great opportunity to invade and steal the enemy jungler's small camps like the pigs, or any other nearby camp that's accessible. By doing so, you're not only gaining extra gold and experience, but also actively slowing down the enemy jungler's progression and disrupting their farm route. This kind of small decision can have a big impact on the enemy jungler's development, especially in the early game, and can give your team an economic advantage as the match progresses. At 3 minutes and 45 seconds into the match, the minion waves will clash again. At this point, as the Clash Lane player, you should prioritize clearing the wave quickly and rotate to help your team contest the 4-minute tyrant. However, while doing so, you must also keep an eye on the enemy jungler's position. If the jungler hasn't appeared on the map, it's safer to clear only the backline minions and avoid overextending, as doing so may result in you getting ganked unexpectedly. By this point in the game, most Clash laners know they are expected to clear and rotate, but here's an additional advantage. If your own jungler comes to your lane at the right time to gank, that sudden numbers advantage could not only earn a kill, but also help your team secure the dragon more easily. Aside from rotating, another key strategy during this phase is freezing the minion wave near your tower, especially if you're in a weak position or if your opponent has the upper hand in lane. By holding the wave closer to your turret, you limit the enemy's ability to pressure you while safely clearing minions. This strategy is commonly used even in professional play. However, this tactic comes with a condition. You must be certain you're not at risk of being tower dived. If you notice enemies missing or suspect a coordinated dive, stay prepared to escape immediately. Getting dove and killed by multiple enemies leads to huge losses, often resulting in your lane being half lost before you know it. But if you play it smart, freezing the wave becomes a very effective way to buy time and safely contribute to your team's overall strategy. Now that I've finished explaining the key things you should be doing before the 4-minute mark, let's go over a few more important points that will make your early game Clash lane performance much more effective. First, remember that before 4 minutes, the game is still in the laning phase. This is the time when your main job is to safely farm your lane, while staying alert and watching the minimap to avoid early ganks. Clash lane is a dangerous lane, so strong awareness and positioning are vital to surviving this phase without falling behind. If you're playing a Clash lane hero with early game priority, meaning your hero is naturally strong before 4 minutes, then you can do more than just farm minions. You should look to control the neutral resources near your lane, such as the spirit chest, to build a gold lead over your opponent. On the other hand, if your hero is weak in the early game, then it's better to stay near or inside the bush, maintain vision, and focus on safely last-hitting minions from afar. Remember, last hits give more gold, and avoiding death is more valuable than trading for pressure early on. In the early game, one of the biggest factors in Clash lane is hero strength. Before 4 minutes, your ability to dominate or play safely will depend largely on your pick. Strong early game heroes can easily pressure the enemy Clash laner, while weaker heroes benefit more from playing safe and preserving health until later phases. So don't overextend or force unnecessary trades just for the sake of aggression. Based on this, here's what you should prioritize depending on your hero type. If you picked a strong early game Clash laner, your goal should be to control the neutral gold around your lane and consistently clear minion waves to pressure your opponent. If you're using a weak early game hero, then focus on avoiding ganks with map awareness, and always make sure to last hit minions to maintain your economy. Your goal is not to win the lane early, but to stay relevant for the later phases. Finally, when it comes to roaming and supporting your team before 4 minutes, always consider the cost. Teleporting or rotating from Clash lane is very risky this early. For example, if you go to help your marksman in the farm lane and fail to get a kill, you'll lose both minion waves and neutral farm in your lane. That's a major setback. It's worth noting that in early game Honor of Kings, a single wave of minions is worth almost the same as getting a kill, so don't leave your lane lightly. In summary, your highest priority as a Clash laner before 4 minutes is to farm safely, control what you can, and avoid unnecessary risk. Whether you're strong or weak, your main objective is to grow steadily without giving the enemy team any early advantages. And that's it for this video, lads. I really hope you learned something valuable and didn't feel overwhelmed with all the information. As for the other phases of the game, well, that depends entirely on you. If this video doesn't perform well, I might delay the next parts because, honestly, low engagement kills my motivation to continue the series. So please support this video as much as you can, like it, hype it, and share it with your fellow Clash laners or friends who might find it helpful. Don't forget to drop your questions in the comments and subscribe to join my awesome W subscribers family. We're growing stronger every day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Love y'all.